So I threw this up after I made 30 beats. It was my goal to put this up, and I made it very quickly. And now this website I created completely on my own from scratch. What is up, producer gang? It's your boy, and we're back here. Another week. It's been a bit since I last shot a video, but that's because I've just been going flat out with work, and I'm currently laying on my couch, as you can see, after a long day of work, hanging out with my dog, watching a Netflix documentary before I go make dinner and sit down to my computer to work on some more stuff like beats and website and whatnot. But yeah, just an update for those of you who are just kind of following this journey and curious. So I've been continuing the labor work, and it's just been real hard these last few weeks just to stay motivated, like doing 9-10 hour days, just basically laboring, and you know, taking that time away from things I'd rather be doing. It gets tough. Like it's not a beautiful, perfect grind where every day I'm spending 4 hours working on my business. Like that's not the case, especially not in these last 3 weeks. I have been working here and there on things that are important. I haven't missed my upload schedule, but I am human as well, and this is where I'm at right now. Like I'm just a little bit tired of this laboring work, but I need it for now. Good news is though, I've applied to 2 IT jobs, which is what I was doing before I came to Australia, and I have an interview for one tomorrow, and I've been submitted as an applicant to another one, which is really good, because if I could get back into that kind of work, that is more of the kind of work that gives me fulfillment and enjoyment while I'm producing and working on my craft in the mornings, to hopefully eventually transform to doing that. But for now, I'm going to make my dinner, and then I'll share with you guys my beat selling website that I finally put up and whatnot. So let's get it. All right, let's do this. So I finally made 30 beats. I was following Luke Ferprez's channel and trying to get an idea of how he's gotten to where he is, and at some point he mentioned that having at least 30 beats would be a good start to your beat catalog. So I went over the last few months working as much as I do. I made 30 beats, and I have created my beat store, my beat catalog. So this is what my beat store looks like now. So I threw this up after I made 30 beats. It was my goal to put this up, and I made it very quickly. But basically it's just a website. I bought the domain name, and then I purchased hosting through easyfunnels.com, which is a website of a guy that I took a course from, like a business course on this, and it's really good. Like the website is really fast and all that sort of stuff, and I've made my own WordPress websites, but I decided to go with this just for the sake of speed and time, because I could spend hours working on a site or even days, but I've decided to just launch it the day I had my 30 beats. So I've launched it, and I've included the Blaze Pro player from BeatStars in my site, and the reason why I did it this way was so that I could funnel paid traffic to my site to sell beats through Google Ads. And although you might be able to do that with BeatStars itself, this site is just faster, I feel, and it's a bit I could customize it more in the way I want. And then the other big thing, the reason why I did this was because I wanted to use conversion tracking on my cart. But it turns out that this Blaze player, like when you use the cart, it actually doesn't change the URL or take you to a different area where you can input that URL as a conversion metric. So this basically brings me back to, now do I go back into WordPress and create a beat store site from scratch, because I'll have a lot more control over that, and I could dial in my paid ads further that way. So it was exciting to finally launch this site, but again, now it's like the next steps. I have to make that decision whether or not I'm going to completely redo the site and sell and create a platform where I sell beats without using someone else, or like BeatStars, for example, their player, but actually have my own store here. So that's something that I have to go through and figure out on my own, and I'm sure I'll get to that, and I'll update you guys on how that goes. But so far through my beat store, I haven't sold a beat yet, just because I've set up my ads, but I use the Google Ads assistance that sets it up for you when you start. It doesn't really give you an option to create like a customized dialed in ad. So now that that's run for like 2 days and I've realized that it's not what I want, I have to cancel it and redo my ads for that. But I can totally make a video on that if you guys want to know how that's all done. But yeah, so that's basically it. Like after I've created my beats, I've popped up my beat store, I've run the ads to my beats where people can come and buy them. On top of that, I do have my mixing and mastering website. And now this website I created completely on my own from scratch. And yeah, I do get a few sales a month here where I do mixing and mastering for people, but I just haven't figured out how to link these two services yet, or maybe I should keep them separate, I'm not sure. But basically this is my foray into making money as a producer, at least to start, while I'm working a full-time job elsewhere. So moving on, as I do with my vlog updates, I'll just walk through a beat that I made this past week. It's actually one that I really like, and I'll show you guys what went into that. This week I made this beat which I really like, so I'll play the intro for you guys and a bit of the drop, and then we'll just go through the bits and pieces that I have here. Intro, actually let's all start this with the sample. So the sample is basically this trumpet that's already affected, but it's this trumpet that I found on Splice, and I pitched it up a little bit just so that it wasn't like the original, and I've changed the pitch a little bit. So I've pitched it up and I've changed the tempo of the sample, and then basically I arranged my own keys over this, so that's what you're hearing here. And I've been having a lot of fun messing with pianos, so here's pretty much what I have on this piano. So that's a limiter, just cutting off the extreme peaks there just to keep it a bit more uniform. Then I have a kilohertz ensemble, 16 voices with these settings. So let's just turn everything off and I'll show you how much this affects the original sound. Limiter, ensemble. There's a little bit of character. Then we have the imager, just to widen out this top end area here a bit. Then I have isotope trash 2, which is distorting, I believe. Let me just have a look. So yeah, I'm distorting the center band and a bit of the top band, and I haven't touched the bottom. And then I'm pushing all of that into a saturator. And then compressing everything because there's some harsh frequencies there with the OTT, because that's obviously a good sound, which brings out a bit more highs. And then we have a little bit of EQ just to clean things up from the intensity that all the saturation and compression give it. And then this filter is used to bring the sound in at the beginning, and then of course I have a reverb just to give it more character. And so that's the keys. And I really like that vibe it gave with everything. So the bass, again, like I said in my previous videos, messing around a lot with sublabs. So I've used this 808 off the top, and then I've just kind of adjusted the parameters to make it into a sub that I liked. And on that sub, all I have is an EQ, nothing else. Moving on, that's my kick and clap sample that I've made, again in the mixer track. Saturator, clap's got an imager and an EQ, and kick's basically got EQ and a saturator, and that's it. And those sounds that I'm using, I've made them in previous files. They're my own samples, so I've already put a lot of work into them to get them to sound how I want, so then when I do bring them into these tracks, I don't need to do anything to them, I just need to increase the volume to what I want it to be at. Obviously sidechain for both. And then I have like this subway Foley in the beginning. And over here I have a shaker. Got it slowed down to add kind of a vibe. And these are the hats that I've used with my own trap snare. Pitched up and down, of course, and then my own effects here that you can see. And a little bit of a crowd cheer sample in the background on the hook. I've also changed the chord. And then I've added horns because I absolutely freaking love horns. And that comes together to create this beat that I made. Yeah, that's it. That's it for this week. That's the update. It's not always as big and shiny as it seems. I'm trying to get ahead and work hard, and especially in these last couple weeks, it's been a bit tough to stay motivated. But you know, we keep going. That's all you can do. And eventually, I hope to move away from obviously full-time work for someone else and be able to do this for a living. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.